come back here every Tuesday and Thursday from 2 to 2:30 to see if you can grab some ideas from these awesome teachers who are doing some really cool things during remote learning, and have been nominated by their peers or by their boss or by anyone to kind of share with us what they're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and allow Meg Salmons to get started. Meg is from Cuthbertson Middle School, and Meg not only was nominated before this innovation showcase even started, a colleague of Meg said, you really need to see what she's doing with Canvas announcements. And so, Meg, you don't know this, but you are like the reason that I was trying to brainstorm a platform for folks to be able to share some of the really cool stuff they're doing, because in a brick and mortar building, you go out in the hall and you're like, that's what I just did. But in remote learning, that's a little bit tougher. So I'm happy that we can kind of give everybody a little bit of a platform to share some of the cool things they're doing. We've got an awesome lineup for the rest of the week, and our nominations are coming in quick, so I'm going to keep publishing those. Meg, I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away. If you want to share your screen, I'm going to stop presenting. And you are on. I'm going to kind of man chat for you. So if you have questions for Meg, you can send them in the chat, and I will try and kind of help her keep track of time, as well as help manage the chat. Take it away, Miss Salmons.
Awesome. I hope everybody can hear me okay. Am I there, Casey? Can I?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yep,
awesome.
You're good.
So, wow, that's terrifying introduction. Thank you. As if I wasn't nervous ahead of time. All right. So today I'm going to be spending some time sharing with you guys how I create a one-stop Canvas announcement for my students. If you are someone who has been looking for a way to pull all of the features of Canvas together in one place, or if you are a recent just stopped using Google Classroom, this is probably going to be a video that's going to help you, or some ideas that are going to help you kind of consolidate. So why would you want to use the Canvas announcement feature? Well, it's very easy. The biggest reason is for student use. It's going to make student navigation extremely easy. And the other big bonus is it's going to provide consistency, not only for your students, but for you. I think the very first thing to do whenever you're thinking about using a certain feature is to come up with a template for yourself. And I think the Canvas announcement application is a great way to use a great place to use a template. So we're basically creatures of habit. We basically almost always have a way that we teach our children, show them how to do something. We kind of structure our instruction almost the same way all the time. We're creatures of habit. And so using a template is going to just reinforce that familiarity with a routine that's going to help your students understand and hopefully increase their productivity. And for you, it's going to save time. To develop your template, just think about your instruction. You can apply this to any grade level, any subject area, and any instruction style or technique that you have. Think about what you ask your students to do routinely, and that's what you need to include in your template. And I think that the big thing is when you do this, you're going to find that your students are going to become more independent. So I'm going to move over and show you first my template. So this is my basic template that I use. I have a greeting. I have a materials list. I have a place for my objective. And then I have a list of activities that we do. I also add reminders. You can see I use a lot of color. I'm a visual tactile learner, so that's the way I tend to instruct. So this is how I put together my template. I use the same template all the time. I tweak it to fit what I need, but basically this is the same every day, or right now, every week. So all I'm going to do is simply highlight the text. This is a Google Doc, and I'm just going to highlight my text. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to hop over here to my dashboard, which I've got open. This is the class I want to make an announcement for. I'm going to click here. And I'm going to find the word announcement down here in my course navigation. I'm going to click announcement. I'm going to click add an announcement. I'm going to give myself a super specific title. This is a lesson I've learned the hard way, so please learn from me. I'm going to be very specific. One of those reasons is because I'm going to copy this Canvas course and use the majority of what's in my Canvas course again. So when you copy your Canvas course, all of your announcements get copied as well. I teach a semester course, and this is very helpful for me. I'm going to paste all of that text I just took from my template into the body. So you probably noticed that most of my formatting has disappeared, and that's because Canvas changed my formatting, and that's fine. Canvas has not as many format options as Google, obviously, but they do the trick. So I'm going to go back in and put my formatting in. Now, for some people, that's a pretty redundant process. Maybe you're a person who doesn't need to see it in your template. You just need to put it into your final copy. And that's fine. Just this is the way my brain works. I need to do it twice. So to save time, I've already got one over here. It's the same exact announcement that I just cut and paste from my template. But to save time, I have put it in here already for you to show you. So you can see that I've gone back and I've highlighted, rearranged some things. I've cleaned it up. I like my greeting, my Hello Scientist greeting, to be nice and big for the kids to see. I have certain language I've taught my students. This is something we do every day. It's update your talk as your table of contents. That's the language I've taught them, so they know what that means. Now I'm going to put some links in, because remember, I'm trying to create a one-stop place. So I want my students to be able to click on the announcement, and they have all of the resources, all of the links, everything, all of the information that they need for that lesson. So let's go down here and let me show you very quickly how to put in a link. Canvas is really awesome because it's all right there. So this first link is a video. So I have a designated way that I tell my students that there's a link, and that I use the capital word here. I put it in blue, I bold it, and that way they know, they've learned, because I've taught them, that whenever they see the word here, they've got to click on that because there's something for them. So I'm going to click and highlight the here. The thing I'm linking, the assignment that I'm linking, is actually already in Canvas. So all I need to do is go over here to my links, and I'm going to click on assignments. I have a lot of assignments, so you'll have to excuse my very long list. Fortunately, it is alphabetical, so that will make things easier for us. And here it is right here, earthquake video and questions. So all I have to do is click this, and it's going to link it to that word. Now, you can link things that are already in Canvas, or you can actually use external links. You just have to go grab the URL, and then you would use the link to URL right up here and cut and paste that, and you could have them go outside of Canvas. So let's say I've done all my links for time's sake, and I want to make this fancy because that's just the kind of crazy kid I am these days. I'm going to put a little image in here for my students to make it a little fancy. I have lots of images saved because I do this often. So I'm just going to choose from this list. You can upload them from your computer. I actually have many files on my desktop of Bitmos and GIFs and things like that. I'm going to choose this one. It's going to go right here. I'm going to resize it because obviously it took over the whole entire page. And basically there is my announcement. It's all ready to go. It's got links. It's got their information. It's got their due dates. It's got reminders. They have a vocab quiz coming up. It's got a specific title, so if I need to find it after I've copied my course, everything is there. And I've made it fancy with a Bitmo. Now it's about time to post it and get everything ready for the student. So we can look right here. We can choose who we want to share this with. Maybe I need to do something different for my first block class than I do my third or my fourth block class. But usually for me, it's all the same. I can also attach a file right here. A different way of linking something if you'd prefer to do it that way. Maybe I think this might be a good application for maybe a math teacher. If you have a separate sheet that you want them to maybe print off at home, maybe that's a great place to put it so they don't have to go anywhere else. The nice thing about announcements is you can do them ahead of time. I'm going to delay the posting on this. I'm going to click this button. I can look at my calendar, choose a date. Let's say I want it done for tomorrow. Make sure you pay attention to this AM and PM because that can get you into some trouble. If you think something's going to post automatically and it doesn't. Click done, and then I'm going to click save. And that's how you make a one-stop Canvas announcement. Let me show you two things about your Canvas account that you need to make sure are up and running before you can use this feature. So I'm going to click back home. This is my default home page. You can see here that I have 2 announcements posting on my home page. And let me show you how you do that. First thing you need to do, make sure that the word announcement doesn't have the little crossed off eyeball beside it. If it does, you're going to go to your settings, use the navigation tab, and drag announcements up to the top so that your students can see it. If you've got announcements and it doesn't have the eyeball, but you want to make sure that your students can see your announcements, you're going to click settings. Make sure you're under course details. You'll scroll down to the bottom. It will say more options. You're going to click there. And then there's a little box. Make sure you click this, says show recent announcements on Canvas homepage. And then for me personally, I have found that 2 is a number that works well. 2 allows me to say, remember yesterday, or if you didn't finish something, it's, on yesterday or the last post or whatever. 3 becomes too much, and 1 wasn't kind of enough. So for me personally, 2 is the magic number. That's what works for my instruction. And then make sure you click your update course details. And there you go. Casey, do I have time to show like 2 or 3 quick examples of what some other types of announcements I've made look like?
We don't, but I'll tell you what, if you just hang back until we're done with all 3 at 2:30, we'll keep the video rolling. You can show us that, and then I'll splice it back to the video. And so the video that we archive can have more than the 10 minutes. How about that?
Awesome. That sounds great. So I just have a couple of examples, kind of the levels at which you can use the feature for people who are not into the Bitmo and the GIF kind of thing, and then all the way up to extremers like myself. So
perfect.
I got some pretty awesome feedback on my May the 4th.
Oh yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah. So here is just a basic one. Nothing fancy, 1 reminder at the bottom, nothing, too crazy. Here's one that is very thematic in its context, because this was actually a lesson that they were going to do tides. So I actually selected a GIF that was specific to that topic, very on point. And then pretty much this is where I'm at these days. This was my sound and the ear information that I posted actually this past yesterday. So you can see that it's gotten, because I'm doing a weekly post, it's gotten lengthy, but it's also using your formatting and your links. It's actually not hard to navigate. So this is truly what my template looks like now. I have a running template. It's a live document. It's 8 pages long. It's 1 page per day, plus a testing template and a vocab quiz template. So that is pretty much what I've got for you. The rest there.
Okay. We'll make it.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you. That was awesome. I'm so excited. I wrote like 3 things that I wouldn't have done. I tweeted the piece about being specific about your announcements. If you just use the date, right, when you transfer this to next semester or next year, that's not going to help you. So if you use the word earthquakes, then it's the date and the earthquakes. Awesome, Meg. Thank you so much. All right, next I'm going to welcome Nancy Owlett. And Nancy, I hope I'm saying your name right. Is it Owlett?
It's Willett.
Oh, Owlett. Okay. So
Willett like a W, but it's fine. I'm used to it.
Got it. That's okay. I'm Rimmer, Rhymer, whatever anyone calls me too. That's a downside of remote learning, right? We don't say our names out loud very often. But Nancy is from Parkwood High School, and she has been killing it with her Bitmoji game. And so I have been watching her progression on Twitter, and so I was really excited. She was a really easy person to select for our first innovation showcase, because she's killing it with those Bitmojis. And not only is she making Bitmojis for herself in her class, I have seen her making Bitmoji classroom templates and sharing them with people in her building. And so all kinds of teachers at Parkwood High School have Bitmoji classrooms that Nancy's making. So Nancy, I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away.
Okay, here we go now. Okay, so as Casey said, I'm a math 3 teacher at Parkwood High School. I'm not a career high school teacher. I'm actually a middle school teacher who moved to high school last year. So learning curve there. Anyway, this little video you're seeing right now, this I learned to do today. But anyway, what I wanted to talk to you about is the fact that I was not a Canvas user. I used a different platform. I used an online platform that I liked, but I just wasn't crazy about Canvas when they first started using it. And so I was really like one of the holdouts at Parkwood. When we went home for COVID, though, I thought, you know what, it would be easier for my students if everything was in one place. So I decided to start using Canvas. And I have a little bit of background with HTML and web design and everything. So I was able to design some Canvas pages that I was really proud of. And I'll just show you here. This is what one of them looked like. And then this was another one. And so I was just so proud of myself. But then I saw a colleague had her Bitmoji on her Canvas page. And I'm curious and competitive. And so I decided I've got to learn how to do this. I knew about Bitmojis from Snapchat because all of my children are grown and they all use Snapchat. So I knew what a Bitmoji was and I knew, you know, how to do it on Snapchat, but I didn't know how to get it to my Canvas page. And so what I would do is I would take my Bitmoji and my Snapchat and I would share those pictures with myself and then email them to myself on my school laptop. Casey's the one that told me that you could use the Bitmoji extension. And if you, I'm thinking you can see my whole screen here. Here's the extension up here in the corner that I'm pointing to with the cursor. It is whitelisted, so we can use the Bitmoji extension on our school laptops, but we can't log in with Snapchat. So I'm going to show you when you go to the Bitmoji extension and it says get started, what it'll do is it'll take you to a screen that looks like this. You can't log in with your Snapchat because, of course, Snapchat is blocked. So what I did was I just created a different Bitmoji account and with one of my personal email addresses. And so I log in with that. And then once I log in with that, I can see on my extension, I can see all my Bitmojis and I can search for whatever I want to use. Using Bitmojis on Canvas.
Enjoy.
Is that Nancy? Oh, did you see my email? I see you.
I think I made, no.
Are we good?
Yeah, but I muted someone. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. So anyway, using them on Canvas, you go through Google Slides, and what you do is you publish the slide and then you embed the code on Canvas. And I actually go through that on my instructional video, which I'll share with you guys as well. I don't want to go through that whole video. It's 20 minutes. I did just want to show you some examples. So when I did figure out how to use the extension and started creating my little Bitmojis on Canvas, my first one, I'll just show you. This is what my home page looks like. But my first one was the week of April 27th, and it looked like this. So I had my little picture of myself working from home, and I created a Google slide presentation for my students, and so they could click and see their assignments. This is their instructional video. This is their handout video. I could put, you know, links on here. So this is all from a Google slide. But all I was doing was using my little pictures that I had emailed to myself. I started seeing these little Bitmoji scenes popping up though on like Facebook and everything. And I was like, okay, I got to learn how to do that. So what I did is I just went to YouTube and searched Bitmoji scene. And I found a very short video that was really easy. And so this was my first scene that I created, me in my living room with my laptop and my whiteboard. And so I created a Google presentation with this as one of my assignments for my students. And so again, you create your Google slide presentation, you publish it, and then you embed the HTML on Canvas, and that's how it gets to be on your Canvas page. So this is what my home page looks like on Canvas. You saw it over here. So you can create the Google slide, and you can create clickable links so that they can click on whichever week or, you know, whatever you want to do with it. I teach high school, so I don't have anything up here that's clickable. If you teach elementary school, you could make this window clickable. The cat could be clickable. It could go somewhere. You could have a book here. and you could create a link there that could go to, let's say, a read aloud. But I've just done these notebooks down here as the different weeks that my students can click on. So I'll just show you, let's see, was it this week? This week they have a choice board. So I gave them a choice. They could do one of these 4 assignments here. And each of these, they can click on the Khan Academy logo, the Desmos logo, and so on. So that's what this week's assignment, the first assignment looks like for this week. I have created a set of Bitmoji templates, and I'll show you. Let's see, here we go. Let me go up. The first slide in the templates has a video in it. And this is where all the instruction comes in. I didn't want to bore you guys with all the, this is how you do this. I just wanted to show you kind of how this came about for me and how I use it. So the first slide has a YouTube video in it, and it's me explaining how to use the templates. And I'm just going to present, and I'll just show you these different templates here. So again, this is my home page, but here I've got inner text. So you could edit this however you wanted to. You can take me out of the template and put yourself in. You could maybe make this beach scene a mountain scene. Take out the cats, make them dogs, whatever. But you can edit these and make them your own. I'll just show you what the other ones look like. So that was my first one. There's my Chem Lab. This is just a GIF that I inserted on the smart board. I did a Fit for Life, a PE class. I just like to play around with these. That's me because that's really where I want to be right now. That's my math class. And then this is, of course, students running to the carpet for their read aloud. And I don't know what this is. I just thought it was fun. And this one, I actually created a GIF. Let me see if I can find it. I created a GIF out of my road trip slide. So I just had a lot of fun with these. I'm actually working on a second set of templates right now. And again, they have the video in them, so you could get the instruction on that. This one in particular, I wanted to show you because if you use Google Classroom, what you can do is make your slide wider and skinnier. And then, and this is my husband, by the way, right here. And then these are my children when they were little. I just put them in a frame on the wall. So I just pretended this is our living room. And then this is me and my husband over here in this picture. But you can make it wider and then you can use it. And I'll show you. I made a Google Classroom. I don't use it, but you can use it as your banner. It does put this kind of gray film over it. And there's really not much you can do about that. You just want to make your slide as bright as you can so it still shows up. And then
Nancy, we're about up on time. Do you have maybe one or two things you want to share? And then do I understand you're going to put the access to the templates? Are you going to share those? Could you? I
will. I'm not sure how to do that on here, but
okay.
On this first slide, my Twitter is Parkwood_Miss O. And the first set of templates, it will force a copy, but the first set of templates is on there.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, that's great. And what she's done is put it in Google. Christine, I just saw your question about putting them in the Canvas Commons. You could put them in Canvas Commons, but they wouldn't be necessarily editable. You want to take them in Google so you can edit them and then put them in Canvas.
You want to take me out and put yourself in.
Right. Nancy, it has been a joy to watch you log into Bitmoji and start learning it, and then kind of grow into this where you're sharing templates with other teachers and building, a Bitmoji scene for your PE teacher and your chemistry teacher. So it has been awesome. And thank you so much.
It's been so fun. Thank you so much for the invite.
We totally appreciate all that you're doing to share the awesome stuff that you're doing. And so folks, find her on Twitter, and then you can ask her questions and she can help support and answer questions and share things too. She did share her first set of templates on Twitter already, right? And you're going to share the second one.
Right,
awesome.
Exactly. I'm still working on the second one, but that one should be up this week.
And at the rate she's going, she's gonna have full-fledged multimedia videos in no time. All right, so I'm gonna move on to Lexi. So Lexi is from Indian Trail Elementary, and someone was bragging on something that Lexi was doing with Flipgrid with her students. And so she's on the other end. We just went from high school all the way down to some of our youngest students at Indian Trail Elementary. So Lexi, I think I saw that you're in here.
Hey,
Yeah, hey.
hi everyone.
So everybody give a little love to Lexi, and she's going to share with us what she's doing with her little babies. It's first grade, right, Lexi?
Yep.
Yeah, first grade babies. All right, tell us about it.
So with my first grade babies, in the beginning we were kind of struggling a little bit with what to have them do that was easy for them to do at home, but also get valuable information. So we were just exploring, my team and I, with Flipgrid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you how I share Flipgrid with my parents, and then how I use it as a teacher as far as creating it and making it accessible, and then how I also use it as my feedback tool. So I suppose I'll just hop on in. Let's get rocking and rolling.
Let's do it.
I am going to share my screen, and what I'm going to show you is how I kind of test what I'm going to share with parents. So I use an incognito Google Chrome little window, and you can get to that by pressing the 3 dots and new incognito, and this kind of signs you out of all things UCPS. You can see it truly how the parents see it at home. This template that you see here is what we use for Indian Trail. We all have, you know, these little organized slides. So this is our first grade literacy slide, and as you see for Thursday, I have simply taken a screenshot of the Flipgrid page, which I will show you in just a moment. And I've kind of inserted text boxes to show parents step by step how to do it. This is the first time we used Flipgrid this week, or the week of this slide, of course. So I really wanted to give them step by step how to use it and what to do. And so I'm going to go ahead and just click this. What it does is it pops up our first grade page. As you can see here, there are a bunch of different teachers. So my first grade team and I decided that we would make a first grade Flipgrid page so that we can all go on, access all of our students' things, and they can also spend time with kids and see other kids that aren't in their class. So I'll share how to make other people co-pilots in just a minute. So just like I showed on the slide, step 1, open Flipgrid, we did that. Step 2, watch the lesson. So here, Mrs. Coward recorded a lovely lesson on nonfiction text features. And then if we went to step 3, watch your teacher's example, the teacher in this case, and then they could also add their own. So as you can see, here are the other first grade teachers. You can star videos or responses that are super spectacular, or in this case, we also did teachers. And you can see that it is moderated. So when the kids go on, they can add their name. So, you know, I'll just be Sarah Smith. And I'll press let's go. And it'll take them easy peasy just to fill out that Flipgrid. So that's kind of how I would tell a parent to get to this. That's how I guess you're all seeing yourselves because I'm on share screen. I like to look at people while I talk. So that's how I share it with parents, but now we can get to how to make it. So I just have Flipgrid saved as a bookmark. Here it is. Log on in. So I have 2 separate grids. One is for the Indian Trail team for first grade, which I shared with you, and then one of it is just for my first graders. I do these just for fun. So you just add a topic. I'll just say fun. Hello. Video moderation. So what this means, if you turn that on, that means that before the post gets uploaded by the child, you are able to approve it or hide it. So when I approve things, I make sure, you know, everything is good in the background and the kids are who they say they are, because when I get to sharing, that'll make a little bit more sense. So when I go ahead and make it, what I don't want to do is copy this link. So my students don't know how to log into their Google accounts. So I needed an easy way for them to do this. So when I make it, I can press this share button and turn on guest mode. This is what has made Flipgrid possible for us. So when you use this guest code, it allows you to do it just like I showed you earlier. But if you use the code up here, that means they need to sign in through Google Classroom or through their email. And that was a step that I just didn't want for my kids quite yet. So this guest mode really made everything so spectacular for me. I want to show you now. Okay, so I shared as a teacher. Oh, I wanted to show you how to add a co-pilot. So co-pilots just mean that there's another teacher on the grid that can add any of these video spots for the kids to add to, and they can approve or not approve anything that you want them to. So you just click here at add co-pilots and type in whoever you want. And that has been really helpful for my team because, you know, if I'm able to check them all in the morning, another teacher checks them all in the afternoon, and then we make sure all the students' videos are uploaded so they can watch each other's, which we've heard a lot of feedback from parents. They love it so much. Okay, last but not least, my step number 3 is using feedback. So I am going to show this text feature, not that one. We're going to look at this one. So here are a bunch of kiddos that completed this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on mine. Right now, I am logged in as an educator. Oh, I can't click on mine because it's me. I'll click on Miss Wallenborn. It's going to automatically play, but I'll pause her. Miss Wallenborn's awesome. So right here in the comments, what I'm going to do is I would have watched my students' video and noticed something spectacular that they did. So say they identified a label and explained in great detail how they used it. So here I would say, great job doing this, provide, you know, any sort of feedback I wanted, steps to improve, steps on how to grow next. Sometimes I'll even put in there how I'm going to question them further about this at our next conference together or at our next small group to have them just start thinking about that while they're reading. So a lot of times this section is kind of my tool to communicate with them and with the parents to keep them working and doing things that are specific just to them. So when I do this, this is where it gets a little tricky. So because I made it guest mode, many of them did not put in an email. So when I go to email the feedback, it may say, please add, can you see that? Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. It may say, please add an email to send feedback. So you can do one of two things. I will normally put in the email because that's just easy for me, but you can also copy the link. So this link right here, naturally I would add some better feedback. This link right here, you can just copy it. And what I have done is I have created a feedback log for, whoopsies, I don't know what that is. A feedback log for each of my students. And every time I use a Flipgrid and have that link, I'll copy the link and put it in their log. So here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. So if I ever want to look back on the feedback I gave them, or if the next meeting comes and I totally forgot what I said to them, because there are a lot of them, I could just click here and see it really quickly.
So awesome. My favorite tip, my favorite tip is the incognito window. That's a really good tip, especially when you want to test things out. Canvas and some platforms have student view, but that's how you can kind of get student view and what a student might see. And it's really important, especially if you don't have your folks signing into Google. So good points, Lexi. I think, let's see, Dr. Chisholm is cheering you on. Good feedback tip. I like the hack to not have, if they're not using an email, right? And so that's how you kind of are archiving and curating some of that feedback. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Rose. I know that you were double booked this afternoon and you moved some things around. So you could be here. I appreciate it. And thank you everyone for coming. So we will be same time, same place, different URL, but you can find the meeting, same place on Thursday. Hopefully we will see you all again for 3 new topics on Thursday. Thank you so much to my presenters.